So, Rick and Morty Season 5 came out a few months ago. And to be honest, it seems like this time the conversation or discourse around it is quieter compared to how it was in the previous seasons, at least from my point of view. So much so that I even forgot about it while it was coming out. I mean, I knew it was out, but like I said, the conversation surrounding it was so small compared to the previous seasons, and the ones that I did take a look at are mostly negative, which probably contributed to why I was putting it off for so long until I even forgot about it. But yeah, a couple of days ago, I finally watched it, the entirety of it in a day, and I think I understand why so many people were so negative about it. So, yeah. Hi, my name is Random Guy Reviews. I do reviews of books, movies, TV shows, and any other types of media that I consume, and I usually put them in this low effort, poorly edited videos that I have on my channel. If you wanna see more content like this, feel free to subscribe and leave a like to help the algorithm recommend this video to more people. So yeah, as always, my review is subjective. You can disagree with it, obviously, and yeah, let's get started, I guess. Before actually getting into it though, I want to say what I think about the earlier seasons of the show. My memory is pretty shit, so I don't remember that much about the first and second seasons, other than the fact that I liked both of them a lot, even though my favorite episodes are in seasons 3 and 4, which are not my favorite seasons. So yeah, I think season 5 as a whole I have mixed feelings about it. Let's just say that. To start off, I think the first 2 or 3 episodes were really great. There are certain elements that are missing compared to the previous seasons, small things in the story that seem different or off, one of which being that Rick seems weaker compared to previous seasons, and I like that because it creates more tension and it just makes for more compelling stories compared to if Rick was, basically omnipotent, which was a thing that kinda happened in some of the previous seasons, which made me like those seasons less. And while those contradictions might be negatives for some people, I'm not really a Rick and Morty superfan, so I don't mind slight inconsistencies. I can tolerate them as long as it means the stories are great in return. But then, as we get into the middle of the season, things get bad. I think the bad part of the season is episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7. There are so many things that are just not very enjoyable to me in those episodes. One of the episodes is legit one of the most, gross episodes and just the worst episodes of TV I've ever seen. It felt like a group of teenage boys wrote it and ignored so many things that made the show work in the first place. There wasn't really any emotional stakes, everything just happens for a shock factor. Same thing with the humor, it just seems like they're trying way too hard to either piss me off or gross me out. None of the witty, smart humor that made me like the show in the first place were really present in those 4 episodes. At least not a lot. One thing that I want to touch on is the show's way of treating continuities between episodes. I think based on this season and the previous seasons, the writers made it very clear that they are not that interested in doing the series-long story arcs all the time. This season, they only did it in the last 3 episodes basically, which were my favorites of the season by far. That means the rest of the season are filled with episodes that has nothing to do with the big story arcs. So they feel almost standalone-ish, and in this season, the first 3 of them I liked. The last 4 I did not. It feels like some of the things that happen in the episodes that I like don't carry over to the future episodes, and I don't like that. I'm not saying that I want every episode to be connected or to address the big story arcs, but I wish more of the developments carry over to the next episodes. As it stood, after an emotional episode for Morty, the next episode there was no sign of it whatsoever in his character, and I'm just like, what? Really? So did that even happen? At this point, we might as well follow a different pair of Rick and Morty in each episode for all we know. So yeah, I don't know, it just feels weird. That's not to say that there are no character development in the show. Both Rick and especially Morty has changed a lot since the first season. And I love that. I just wish that it was done in a way that also affects the non-important episodes as well. And you know what annoys me even more about this season? In the episode that I mentioned earlier that was my least favorite episode of the entire show, there was one thing that was just so bad and so cringe, and they kept bringing it up in the next few episodes. And they were doing it in a way that made it obvious that they knew it was gonna be unpopular within the fandom, which in my opinion does not absolve the fact that they chose to do that in the first place. And I'm just so, I don't know, disappointed that they kept bringing that up instead of the other stuff from the other episodes that can add more emotional depth to the characters instead of just bringing something up just to say fuck you to the fans, you know? So yeah, based on what I said, you might think that I didn't like the season, and I'm not sure. The first 3 episodes were good, not up to par compared to the best episodes of the previous seasons, but good enough. The next 4 ranged from bad to worst of the show, but the next 3 were really good. And the final episode in particular is one of my favorite episodes of the entire show. And these 3 final episodes are about the big story arc, and they tackle it in a way that I think is just perfect. They don't seem to really pander to the fan theories that much, so everything feels unpredictable and new and fresh, and the final one in particular is a lot to take in, but in the best possible way. And I don't think any other show could pull that off. It's just a shame that the rest of the show is like that, I guess. So yeah, that's great. And also, shout out to the post-credit scenes in this season. Probably my favorite among the seasons. They're very consistently funny and short, so it doesn't really overstay their welcome. So yeah, overall, I think for me personally, this was a 3 out of 5 season. Very inconsistent and had some of the worst episodes of the entire show, but also some of the best as well. Plus, it did move the big story arc forward in a way that is very satisfying. Oh, if only it didn't take 10 episodes to do that, just to do it at the final 3, but whatever. It's just, it's just Rick and Morty, who cares? So, yeah. 3 out of 5. You should watch it if you like the previous seasons, I guess. But, yeah. Thanks for watching.